Good morning, boys and girls, and I'm back in school again today, and it is Monday, and we're now into the month of February. Today is Monday, the 1st of February, 2021. Now, I'm going to ask you from now on, starting today, to start your work with something which we haven't done up until now, and we really should do every day, and that is to write the date. So every morning, when you begin your work or whenever you start your work, begin with the date. So lined paper would probably be best for this, but use whatever you have and write the date every morning. Now today's date is Monday, the 1st of February 2021. All right, see if I can show the whole thing to you. There we go, Monday the 1st of February 2021. All right. So if you write that out nice and clearly, with nice tall letters, and a space between each word as well. Now today is a very special day. It's not just the first day of February, but it's also St. Bridget's Day. And St. Bridget is one of the patron saints of Ireland. We all know who the other patron saint of Ireland is, don't we? St. Patrick. And his name is on our cathedral, isn't it? St. Patrick's Cathedral, Armagh. And St. Bridget is known as our second patron saint. And St. Bridget is the lady who came up with the idea of making St. Bridget's crosses. Now, if we were in school, we would have some rushes out, which are a plant that grows in watery ground, and we would make St. Bridget's crosses. Unfortunately, we can't do that in school. However, if you live near some rushes or you get a chance to pick them, maybe you could get a chance to make a St. Bridget's cross as well. Now, if you don't, well, you could draw your own little cross, couldn't you? Just to mark the special day that is St. Bridget's Day. Now, in your messages, you will find a little video link, which will just tell you a little bit about St. Bridget. All right? So beginning today then, as always, with our spellings, just make sure you're on the right week there, week 4, beginning the 1st of February and ending on the 5th. And this week we are looking at the H sound. And it's usually made using a H. Sometimes there's a silent W in front of it as well. So our words this week are help, have, I should really point to them here for you, shouldn't I? Help, have, he's, which means he is. When you see that apostrophe, you know it's replacing a letter that should have been there. So he is becomes he's. He's going to the shop. He's working hard. Hide, half, here, who, whose. Now that's short for who is. Who's coming in through the door? Happy and having. Now in your pack you will see the usual double page for sounds in focus. However, you only have to do this half, okay? We're looking at the H sound this week, so you don't need to do this part. You'll be delighted to hear. So this week you only have to do part 1, 2 and 3, all right? Because if we did both together, we might end up getting mixed up with our sounds, okay? So we're focusing on the H sound today, made using a H. For example, house, H, house. Question 1 then asks you to underline the letter or letters for H in each list word. Now, for some of them, you can underline the H, and for some of them, you can underline WH, because they kind of work together. Can't really hear the W very much. It's doing a very different job there. So, H or WH. So, in our sound box, we had H. So, over here in this little box, we can put WH. It's another way of making a H sound. So you could put a WH there and then write here one of your WH words, like who or whose. Question 2 is asking you then to listen carefully to these words, listen for each sound and draw a dot for each sound you hear. So what I will do again is I will call out each sound and call out each word, and you count the sounds, all right? And put a dot for each sound. H, a, v, have. H, e, hear. H, e, o, p, help. H, I, d, hide. H, a, p, e, happy. H, a, f, half. This week for our literacy, we are doing a variety of things, starting off with our letter formation. We're also going to be doing some comprehension this week, revising our compound words, making sure we understand what compound words are and how to make them, and finishing the week off with some writing, some poetry. Today we are continuing on with our letter formation, making sure that we can form all our letters correctly. And we are going today from K, k, right down to T. Sorry, U. There's another one there. U. Oh, sound. So let's revise them quickly. Starting off with K then. There's a little staple almost in my way there. Down, up, around, out, and flick. K is probably the hardest letter in the alphabet to do because there's straight bits, round bits, sideways bits, flicks, so there's a lot to remember. Down, up, around, out, flick. Then we go to L. Oh, L thankfully is much easier. Down and flick. Down and flick. The M then. Down, up, over, down, up, over, down, flick. Down, up, over, and flick. The flicks will help us, boys and girls, when we get a little bit older and we are learning to do joined writing when letters are joined together. So that's why we get into the habit of doing flicks now. N then, very similar to your M, but less to do. Down, up, over, down, flick. Down, up, over, down, flick. Moving on then to O, and it's just going round in a circle, finishing off where you started. Round in a circle and stop. Round in a circle and stop. Just make sure you do a perfect circle. Sometimes our O's look a little bit like this, and we're not finishing off where we started, are we? So keep them nice and round. P. Down, up, and around. Down, up, and around. Now make sure that the round bit in the P stays on the line, okay? That's very important. Sometimes our P's are up here, or they're not, this bit isn't going through the line. This is a lowercase p. The round bit sits on the line as if it's sitting on a shelf, and then the long bit goes through the line. Q then. Round, up, down, and flick. And again, the round bit should sit on the little shelf on the line. Round, up, down, and flick. And Q, usually when you see Q, you see a U beside it. I often think Q and U are best friends. Q doesn't like to be on her own. She likes to have her best friend U beside her. 4 words like queen, quiet, quit, quite. Lots of words you'll see Q and U together. They're besties. R then. Down, up, and over. And make sure there's this little bit here sticking up, okay? Sometimes our R's look like this. Okay, that is not an R. It needs to have this little bit that goes up a little bit, okay? S then. It's very hard to do a small lowercase s because there's so much to do in a small space. So you're going round this way and then round that way. So sometimes our lowercase s's can look larger than the rest of our lowercase letters because it's hard to get all of that in. But it just takes practice. And the more we do it, the better we will get at forming our s's to the correct size. All right. T then. Down and around and a line through the middle. Down and around and a line through the middle. And here we have Q's friend U. Down and around, up, down, flick. Down and around, up, down and flick. Now, that's not the most exciting activity today, boys and girls, is it? But it's so important to develop your handwriting skills. So try your best and try to maybe use a marker or a dark colouring pencil, something where I can see clearly your handwriting, because I know with this print it's very hard to see pencil on this print. But if you only have a pencil, then do it with pencil, all right? Just whatever you have at home. So for our maths today, we start Monday with a sheet on money. Then you will find this little 4 times tables booklet, which will take you through Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. And then we'll apply our knowledge of the 4 times tables to this Friday activity, which covers all of the 4 times tables and asks you various questions related to them. Very similar to a page we did last week on the 3 times tables, all right? So by Friday, I'm sure that you will be really good at your 4 times tables, maybe even ready at the end of this week to take a little 4 times tables quiz, all right? Maybe along with your spelling test on Friday. But we'll practice them this week. And we'll start today, of course, with our money work. We'll look more at the 4 times tables tomorrow. So continuing to develop our knowledge of coins and counting coins today, question 1 says to list 5 coins to make 74p. Now there are various ways we could make 74p, and you're being asked to find 5 coins that would do that. So you couldn't choose a 50p, a 20p and 2 2p's, because although they would make 74p, that's only 4 coins. All right, so you have to try and think of a way to make these amounts using 5 coins specifically, all right? So it takes a little bit of thinking. You can use your coins, your paper coins that we had last week, play about with them, and they might help you in making these amounts using 5 coins. Or you might have your own coins at home that you could practice with. Question 2 then says, Paul and Salma each have 5 different coins. And you'll see them over here, Paul's and Salma's. And you are asked, what amount does each have? So how much does Paul have and how much does Salma have? Question B then, 2B, asks you to list other sets of 5 different coins and the amounts they make. So everyone's answers are going to be different here, and they haven't given you a certain amount of sets, so we'll say 3 sets of coins. Each set with 5 coins. So you're going to draw 5 coins and write the amount that adds up to, and it can be any amount you want. And then you're going to do it again with 5 different coins, and then again with 5 different coins, all right? So for example, you might say to yourself, okay, I'm going to make 41p, so I'm going to use 4 10p coins and a penny coin. That's 5 coins, and I have made an amount. But you can decide what you want to make using 5 coins. Question 3 then tests your mental math skills, your money counting skills. You will see there are different types of food here, and they cost different amounts. And the question A is asking you, which 2 meals can be bought for exactly £5? So which 2 meals could you buy together and you would be paying £5? Now, we can rule out the chicken right away because it's £8.80, all right? It's unlikely to be the curry because it's £4.30, so you'd only have 70p left to buy something else. So look at the other foods and think, which two would add up together to make £5. So if you're adding two amounts in your head, maybe add the pounds together first, then add the pence and bring it all together. Question B then asks you which 3 meals can be bought for exactly £10. So again, you're trying to calculate this in your head, or maybe you want to write down some amounts and add them up. Which 3 meals together would cost £10? Question C says then, which meals can be bought for exactly £6.50? Now that is very tricky. See if you can think which meals could be bought together for £6.50. And finally, how much is your change from £10 when you buy salad and chicken? Okay, so £10, I would take away the price of the salad first, so take away the pound and take away the 10p. Then the chicken, take away 8 more pounds and take away the 80p. Now, because that third section is quite tricky, if you want to stop after section 2, I will understand, all right? You could have a go at this, maybe even try question A, but I won't be annoyed if you don't do all of part 3, because it is quite tough, all right? So lots to do today, boys and girls, to begin your week. If you have time, of course, this week, continue to go on to AR to complete quizzes. So you go into Oxford Owl first to read your book, and then into accelerated reading to take a quiz. And if you're not sure how to access those, please do give me a message and we'll get you on, no problem. All right. Now, I will send out the names of or titles of some more books for you to read, because I know some of you have taken a few quizzes and you might need the names of more books. So I'll send you a few more book titles out in your messages, okay? Sumdog continues as well this week, as usual. So go on to Sumdog if you can, all right? And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Oh, and happy St. Bridget's Day. Bye now.